Hey, thank you so much for tuning in to Instrumental Intel. I am your host, music producer Chick with Beats, and I'm thrilled that you're here with me. Today's episode has music industry news, instrumentals by me for your inspiration, and later I'll be joined by my special guest, The Glue, founder of TGPR. We're going to talk a little bit about breaking down PR, management, and data-driven strategy, and so much more. So it's going to be a great time. Before I go ahead and drop that first beat, I want to give a shout out to my home station, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And with that, let's go. producer Chick with Beats, and you're listening to my podcast, Instrumental Intel. back with the Music Biz Brief. First up, Universal Music Group's $775 million deal to acquire Downtown Music via Virgin Music Group is moving toward a deeper 4-month investigation after Virgin declined to offer remedies during the initial review. Independent music groups across Europe have raised concerns that the merger would give Universal even more control over market access, potentially squeezing out smaller players. The European Commission's full-scale antitrust investigation will begin after July 22nd, with the deal still expected to close late this year. Next, over 30 European music creators have launched a campaign urging the EU to enforce strong transparency rules in its AI Act. Passed in 2024, it requires companies to disclose training data and follow copyright law, but creators fear the law's implementation is being watered down. Through the Stay True to the Act website, artists warn that generative AI developers are using their music without consent to train models that mimic their style without compensation or notice. Music trade groups are backing the campaign, calling for the EU to uphold its original promise to protect artists' rights. Also, licensing tech company Chordal has launched Instant Clear as an API, allowing brands and platforms to instantly clear sync licenses without managing rights or legal work. The tool offers 3 tiers, including a free revenue share option, and higher tiers with AI-powered metadata, STEM support, and white labeling. The aim is to help more businesses license music properly for social media as copyright lawsuits like the one facing DSW Shoe Warehouse continue to arise. Next, a new report from investment bank TD Cowen suggests music rights holders may soon have more leverage over Spotify. While Spotify is now worth more than the entire global music rights industry, and that's $177 billion versus $169 billion, the analysts argue that this imbalance doesn't make sense since Spotify doesn't own any content. With the platform finally turning a profit, TD Cowen believes major labels like Universal and Warner are now in a stronger position to demand better licensing terms, including guaranteed revenue increases and fewer discounts on publishing payouts. Also, an unredacted version of LyricFind's lawsuit now alleges that Musixmatch and its investor, TPG, after trying to acquire LyricFind in 2023 under an NDA, leaked confidential information to Spotify to gain an edge in pricing and quality. Musixmatch is seeking to dismiss the case, calling it baseless and outside of the California court's jurisdiction, especially regarding its deal with Warner Chappell. LyricFind is challenging that dismissal. And finally, the DOJ's antitrust case against Live Nation and Ticketmaster may have gained new momentum with the discovery of a kickback arrangement between venue giant Oakview Group and a major ticketing company identified by multiple sources as Ticketmaster. According to a non-prosecution agreement, OVG received $20 million upfront and $7.5 million annually tied to ticket sales in exchange for promoting that ticketing company to venues it managed without disclosing the deal to venue owners. These revelations, uncovered during a broader bid rigging probe, could strengthen the DOJ's argument that Live Nation's influence extends through financial arrangements that limit fair competition in the live music industry. Alright, and that's a wrap for this week's Music Biz Brief. I'm going to take a quick pause for the cause, and then I'll be back with my special guest, The Glue, right after this. Keep it locked. Hey, I'm a chick with beats, multi-genre music producer and strategist to indie artists and labels. Visit achickwithbeats.com for resources for artists and instrumentals in various genres available for songs, vlogs, blogs, podcasts, themes, TV, film, commercials, and more. Once again, that's achickwithbeats.com. That's ACHICKWITBEATZ.com. Let's make something happen. Thank you so much for tuning in to Instrumental Intel. I'm your host, music producer, Chick with Beats, and I'm thrilled to say that today I have on the line with me the Glue, founder of TGPR. If you could, please just kind of give everybody an introduction as to who you are and how you got involved with PR, especially for music.
Oh man, thank you so much for having me on your show.
Absolutely.
You already know I've been a fan of yours for a minute. And, yeah, you got a dope thing going on. I salute Black sisters. Having something positive and actually being kind of innovative and creative and not doing what's trendy. So give you back the flowers.
Thank you.
I've actually only been in PR as a publicist for the last 2 years. That was just an elevation from kind of being a promo king. But I am on my 6 year journey of in and out of managing artists, promoting artists, marketing artists, being an A&R, and understanding my core value of myself is to sympathize with people, and being a former promotion, co-aligned to me being me and not having to fight or try to do something that isn't within me. And I think that's one of the reasons why my PR works, because I actually love it. But yeah, it's been a journey. But like I said, I've only been doing it for going on 6 years in total. But PR publishing has only been out about 2 years, and I think I'm actually flourishing. But I'm up and coming at it. I ain't gonna be the one to tell you I know everything, because I don't. I actually just made an itinerary for all my artists for next year. Trying to reinvent my Instagram form of promotion, even though it's already kind of like not heard of, but also unorthodox. I always try to find different ways to make it fresh and vibrant. But I just found out a different way to kind of up it up a notch.
Okay. Wow. You kind of shared a whole bunch of knowledge, and I have so many questions. So I'm just trying to pick the first one to ask. But I think I'd like to start with how you started in promotion before transitioning into PR. And so I'd like to know, basically, what do you think some of the distinct differences are, even though they're so closely aligned?
Yes, and I get that question a lot, but I'm gonna focus on promotion. So when I first got into the gist of things, I think I was maybe like 2 years in, and at that time I was running the label, running the artist, from the marketing, promotion, and stuff. And I kind of just hated the fact that I had to outsource. So it was just like, man, am I going to spend my money on other people, or am I going to figure out how to do this with myself? So I figured out how to do it myself. And trust me, like, I can go back to my early promotions, and that just looks cringy. But I was in the process of figuring it out. And I figured it out. It was just that, man, I ain't feel like trusting people with my money to do things that they probably won't do. And I think that's pretty much how that transformed into my PR. But just to answer your question about promotion, I got into it because I was dealing with artists, and I care about my clients or my artists, so I'm always finding or thinking of a way to use $1 but make it look like it's 100. And I just got tired of all these janky promotion services, so I was like, man, I just said, man, give me like 6 months and I'm gonna figure it out. And I figured it out.
That's what's up. I think a lot of times people get frustrated. Instead of trying to figure it out, they just kind of give up. And so, kudos to you for, sticking with it, figuring it out yourself, and, making it hot and happen.
Right.
So the next thing I wanted to ask about was your time with A&R. I feel like that's something that some of us that are a little more seasoned in years kind of know a little bit about, but I feel like you don't really see it that much. Can you talk a little bit about how important that is and what that was like for you when you were doing it?
Oh, I'm actually still doing it. And like I said, I'm never going to claim to say I know it all, because I am still learning the ins and outs of what it really means to be an A&R, actually understanding data, taking, the data, the fan transition, the proper engagement. But all that is exciting. But to get to your question about A&R, so, I'll throw my age out there. I'm 38, and I'm assuming how you started off, you're kind of in my age range, and you grew up in the 90s, or I understand 90s music, where there was a lot of A&R work. A&R is a dinosaur today. And the reason why, in my opinion, most labels consolidated. Figured out, all right, what can we go without, but still make the bottom line? So A&Rs went out. With my label, GYDO Management, they understand artist development, but I think this is their own way of teaching me the ropes as well, giving me a certain level, work that level out, and the more I put in, the more I put on the table.
Yeah.
But even when they gave me that A&R job, I was kind of surprised because it's not that I didn't think I deserved it. It's just that I wasn't asking for it, and I think that's the best gifts in life. You want to say it like that, or the best opportunities are the ones when people just see you working your ass off, and they just it puts you in a position. And that's pretty much been my whole experience with GYDO Management and Fresh on TV. I tell you myself, I know I'm a workhorse in everything I do, but to speak for them and what they see in me, kind of gotta ask them.
Gotcha. So yeah, it's one of those things that I've also noticed that it's kind of an easy way to prey on up and coming artists. So like I see, how you get the DMs like, oh, I'm with so and so A&R, and we want you to come on. All you got to do is put $300 down, and then so like it's one of those things that I feel like a lot of labels aren't doing very well, but the scammers kind of picked up on it, and they're kind of using that to their benefit, if you will.
Yes. And I was just talking to, and he's not an artist. He's he's one of my motivational speakers that's under my PR. And I was just trying to school him on like parameters that he's going to face, where there's going to be predatory advances, where he would have to, walk away right there and then, and not, yuck and chuck, like kind of stand your ground right there and then, so people understand how you move. But I think all forms of industry is predatory. But when you got guys like me, for example, one of the artists I manage, Artinka Tier, she's an R&B artist, rap artist, and people don't follow the chain of command. So when you go on her page, the first line says, for inquiries, contact the Glue, my management. What the predatory people would do, well, obviously they're not going to follow the chain of command and look over her Instagram page. They're just going to shoot her a DM. And that's what I see a lot. People not following the chain of command, and whether it is a good source or not, your opportunity is going to be missed because you don't want to hit me up. That don't make any sense.
Right. Yeah. So, okay. With that being said, I definitely see that as one of the benefits of having management. So could you talk about, like, for artists that are out there listening right now that might be contemplating, do I need a manager? Should I get one? What advice do you have to offer for that?
I wouldn't even say a manager, but I tell you this, you can't do it by yourself. You cannot do it by yourself. If you think that you're going to be the next superstar by yourself, just fall asleep forever, my guy. You need somebody, whether that could just be a personal DJ, whether that can just be a personal stylist. You're gonna have, the big people, all the big names got a team.
Yeah.
Let's use. I was talking to somebody, so let's use Little Baby as an example. When he came up in the industry, in my opinion, at first I didn't like him his first year, but then I understood what he was talking about, so I started to keep a good ear on it.
Mm.
Let's say 2 years after that, you can hear him kind of stepping out of his lanes, broadening his horizon. He ain't really getting in the mix. He got a team around him. He got a good team around him. But I think management is, well, first of all, you got to have something to manage. Let's start with that.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot just be an up and coming artist and wanting to manage it. Unless you kind of grew up with that person, that's you guys just go together. But in all the cases, and the two artists that I managed, they had a body of work and they had a drive before I came along.
Mm.
So I would say you would have something to manage first.
Gotcha. So I guess to kind of dig a little bit deeper into that, and not telling you to give all your secret sauce away or anything, but
I'm free game kind of guy. I would. Okay. I get free game all the time out.
That's what's up. Yeah. So could you maybe point out some of the things that managers actually do? So you're wearing all these different hats, and a lot of times I'll see artists talk about things like, okay, well, I need a manager because I need more bookings. And it's like, well, maybe you need a booking agent. You know what I mean? Like if you could kind of break down like what those tasks are so people know before they even try to pursue it.
Well, whether, and I'm just saying this for shits and giggles to get some laughs, but on a real context, a lot of it is babysitting. A lot of it is being a therapist.
Mm.
Now, however you look at that, like I go with it because I understand. That goes with having heart-to-heart conversations. Actually having conversations that probably won't even be about business. Because if you're managing an artist, you kind of want to have somewhat of a personal level, so you guys are walking aligned with each other step by step. That's important for me. Second thing is you're managing their assets, whether it can be music, whether they got businesses, whether they have sponsorships. And then the other part is, how you want to say it, it's individualized.
Mm.
Because with me, I have a whole bunch of other assets that I incorporate with that management. Like if I manage you as an artist, you get all the management skills, you get marketing skills from me, you get advertising skills from me, you get promotional skills from me, and then I'm an A&R, and the artists that I manage distribute the music through my label that I work for. I don't know, it's individualized today. I guess back in the day, in the 90s, it was real of a structure.
Yeah.
And kind of next in line scenario, but nowadays it's kind of like mom and pop stores. And I'm not saying I'm that, but it's kind of just individualized, like this Western culture is I.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, that's one of the things that I noticed. A lot of times people get kind of confused as to who does what and who should be involved in X, Y, and Z. And so yeah, I appreciate you kind of taking the time to explain that, break it down a little bit. So back to public relations specifically. What could you say some of the benefits are for anybody that might be kind of contemplating it? I'll say this before you even get started. I love going through PR reps Like that's especially people like you who've been in the game. That's less vetting for me to have to do. But so yeah, that's just my little plug for anybody listening that might be considering it. Like, yeah, I love dealing with PR reps, but go ahead though.
So you just kind of want me to kind of describe
the
ins and outs of it.
Yeah.
So now that I'm looking back on it, I think that my PR service wouldn't have worked if I didn't already have the grounds of promotion and a trusted name. You know, I'm also a Spotify curator, and I've been doing that for as long as I've been doing everything. So that's going on 6 years.
Wow.
So it has a lot of trust that goes with it. You have to be a trusted name, and then I'm also aligned with GYDO Management, Fresh on TV, which is the #1 music mixer showcase show on Twitch. We're actually going to be live tonight. If you guys want to check us out on Twitch, hear some good music and watch us laugh.
What days are that? Just in case somebody's listening, at a specific day.
So, we're live Thursday, Friday night, Sunday night, and then between those days, there are other streamers that stream for Fresh on TV or in our label, and they're doing in real time or IRLs. So you will have to, hit the alert link to catch the IRLs. But Thursday, Friday, and Sunday are our premiere nights.
Okay.
I think it all starts on you having a trusted name. And I have already built a network, from podcasts, other platforms, mic drops. I think I am the epitome of promotion and promoting for others. Just to give the audience a background of my reps. It's not just artists. I have podcasts. I have models. I have motivational speakers, comedians. So I try to keep a broad light or keep my portfolio diverse. But it starts with a trusted name, a network, and your ability to reach out to people. Having a gift for gab, how to be able to sit in any situation, whether you don't know what they're talking about, but it won't come across as it. Being presentable, being that guy that is willing to champion your image, your name, and then on the flip side is also promoting you in the best image. So if the audience were to go to my page, I am proud to say this. The people that I represent is a correlation or reflection of my life, whether a man or female. There is nobody shooting up, no gang banging traditional night shit. I don't promote that. So with the PR, what I said is about trust, network, being able to rally for your clients, promote them in the best image, and more or less be a good guy. It's a lot of theory out here. I'm lenient with my clients. I'm very hands-on. I'm always studying. Data is my life. And I'm always thinking of different ways to get better. This not even 2 months ago, I saw this video and figured out how to double organically, by the way. Double my views, and right now I'm at $500,000 every 90 days.
Nice.
And that's just on,
especially organically. That's really impressive.
Yeah, that's just off of form of music. Now, I have my other people in my portfolio, like my kid meetings and podcasts and stuff like that. But that's just generally off my form of promotion. I was just trying to add it up. I'm usually like 25 to 35K views within the form of promotion.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I would incline the audience, especially if you're an artist or if you're in the promotion game, check out my page and see how I do it and see why I say there's nobody else that does it like this. Because if you can point them out, show me so we can collaborate.
Yeah. So, okay, you gave some pros, and like you mentioned, there's some scammers and some other stuff going on. What are some red flags for somebody that might be shopping around for PR and like maybe they considering somebody, but what would be a red flag that they might miss that they should probably pay attention to?
Well, I always look at who are you attached to. First of all, because you go on my page, you'll see my A&R for GYDO. You just look at that. Boom. Then you can see who my booking agent is. That's under my PR for my artist. Forgot to mention that. But I always look at who the person is attached to, and then see if their image platform co-aligns with mine. Like for example, I don't do anything trending for my artists. So I don't put my artists on those pages that have a whole bunch of artists on there and other things that you can pay. Nah, I'm not clouding my artists' work with a whole bunch of food. But I see a lot of people that do that. But I don't follow the trend. I try to keep everything organic. I think there's some other red flags. Oh, if they can't show you data. I got data to back up everything I say. That's probably be the two things.
Okay. Yeah, those are some excellent.
To, and if they can't show you any data of the services they're trying to provide you, yeah,
those are great tips.
And then I always, before I add somebody to my PR, I send them all my clients, and then feel free to hit them up. Make your own decision.
Okay.
Yeah, transparency is like the only way I can work with somebody.
That's a great rule of thumb. You brought up some very important stuff, and I've always kind of wondered how, and specifically on Instagram, and I think like Twitter would have a lot too, but those accounts that are set up, like, okay, we do your promotion, but that's all they do. So I'm like, who even wants to follow this? Like, I don't want to see just my timeline flooded. It's not like you like these people. They paid you to promote it. So why would I even be interested? Like I've never understood how those are performing so well.
Well, it's consistency. So I'll give you guys some free game of how I crack the code. So one, I have 14 artists, right? So I have 5 male. I break it down in 3 sections. I promote the male artists, and then I promote my female artists that are R&B, which are 4, and then I promote the other 4 rap female artists, and that's 4. So that's 14 artists, right? I don't mention them at all. There ain't no mention at all. I just use their hashtag. So when you use the hashtag not to mention, it boosts it up the algorithm. When you mention somebody, it drags it kind of down. That's free game. So my new form of promotion, each artist gets 6 reels and 3 posts. So, for example, I'll start it off with Art Tinker. So she'll get 3 regular posts and then my form of promotion is Spotify versus. Since I'm a Spotify curator, I double down on Spotify. So I just got done with Spotify versus YouTube Music. So it'll be 3 reels of Spotify, then 3 reels of YouTube. I think everybody's form of promotion should be unique.
Yeah.
But I think people love their music. Music is the number one seller in a lot of things. You need music in everything.
You do. Yeah, it's a soundtrack for like no matter what you're doing. I definitely agree with that. But yeah, so like especially with what you just said compared to how some of these promo pages are doing it, just kind of spamming people all the time. It's just, yeah, I don't know. Like maybe this is my personal plea to anybody out there listening. Like, don't do it. Don't give them that $5 to like nobody's gonna be watching that. Like
nobody's gonna be watching that, and then that's not even fake people. I mean, that's fake people, fake bots.
Right.
Now, in my defense, I do move like a bot because you don't really see my face on there. I kind of, I just keep it about my clients, unless it's like a clip from my show or something. But yeah, I get that sometimes. People get confused. Like, there's 3 people in my PR, but there's just me. But I don't really have that many pictures. It's kind of what I was telling you the other day. I have so much light from, my label being an A&R and being on at Twitch that's enough light for me that I could take the rest and shine on everybody else because I don't like the spotlight.
Yeah. And if you notice, I didn't give you a hard time about that. I'm kind of the same way. Like, I prefer to produce. I started making music just to let people know that I produce, and yeah, like I don't like being on camera. I do it because I have to, but like for the most part, So I feel you on that. Yeah. So I can't believe how quickly this time went by, but I want to make sure. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule for coming on and sharing your experience and wisdom and those gems you dropped. But yeah, before I let you go, I want to make sure that everybody knows where to find you, follow you, contact if they want to check out any of your services to see if you are a good fit. Not you, but if they're a good fit for you. Let me put it that way.
Okay, well, I ain't gonna hold no shade. I'm only working with label artists or people that are attached to management companies. No more indie artists. But you can find me at the Blue Trail on Instagram. If you want to check out my artists, you can go to my links and hit my playlist link, and it'll go to my TG playlist. But my Spotify network is like 30 playlists. So if you click on my profile, you'll see all my playlists with all the artists. Like I said, we'll be live tonight on Twitch. Twitch is a free app, so all you gotta do is download it and search for Fresh Zone TV series. Hit that subscribe button if that's free too, and hit that alert, and we should be live sometime around 9:30, 10 p.m. Eastern time zone. And we just usually take questions, BS, watch some label music. We take VIPs from any artist or any artist. We just go through this, it keep the vibe going. Just trying to think what other links I got. And yeah, if you're on my Instagram, just make sure you check out my artists. You can see them in that form of promotion. And that's about it.
All right. Well, once again, I want to thank you, and I'm hoping this is just part 1, and we can do it again sometime soon.
Oh, absolutely. I'm real low key, so you might get my only interview next year.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you.
All right. You're so welcome. I hope you have a good night.
Alright, that's a wrap for this episode of Instrumental Intel. I've been your host, music producer Chick with Beats. And once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank my special guest, The Glue, founder of TGPR, for coming through and sharing his information, wisdom, and insight. And of course, I want to thank my home station, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Make sure you come back next week. I got more goodness lined up for you. So, till next time, you know where to find me. Tune in, tell a friend, and I'll see you then. Peace.